Good morning, guys. In this video, I want to show you how I make homemade coconut milk and also how I use that coconut milk in various recipe ideas. Now, hear me out on this, guys. I know there's a ton of videos out there that show you how to make nut milk of all kinds, but very few of them actually show you what to do with it. And I hate wasting food. So when I make something, I want to know what to do with it. My goal is to show you how to save money in your little retired life. Cooking at home is probably one of the best ways that I can think of. For those of you who are new here, my name is Reina, and this is my channel, Small Retired Life, where we talk about all things that have to do with retirement, be it health, finances, budgeting, a day in a life type of videos, and so on. I think I also want to mention that when we make things from scratch, it's a very personal thing. There's things that I make from scratch because it makes sense to do it. They're super easy to make, it's less expensive, so better for my budget, that type of thing. That's different for everyone. Everyone has different schedules, different priorities. So making coconut milk from scratch is so easy that this is something that I do because it does not take up a lot of time. I can make it kind of on demand and I don't have to store a ton of it in my fridge and have it go bad. I do buy almond milk or soya milk in cartons. I don't use it very often, but there are recipes that I make on a regular enough basis that I might have one or two of those cartons in my cupboard. And why? Because I really don't feel like making them from scratch. It takes a bit more work and I just don't feel like doing it. So I totally understand if someone looks at this, rolls their eyes and says, you know what, I would prefer just to go to the store. If you're that type of person, I totally get it. And what I can say is that the recipes that I make in this video, you can just substitute your bought coconut milk and that will work fabulously. Now, before you guys think I'm perfect and that I eat perfectly and do things perfectly, by no means am I any of that. I have been known to buy salad in a bag, pour the dressing in, put some rotisserie chicken in there and shake it up and eat it out of the bag. But I do think, you guys, it's a good idea that a few times in the week you make yourself something nice and you actually plate your food. As my favorite YouTuber Jenny Mustard would say, we are not barbarians. So let's move forward and make some of these recipes. Let's do a little bit of comparison shopping. So this container of silk coconut milk is the only coconut milk beverage that's available in my Safeway. It's $3.99 Canadian. Now, I'm sure you can probably go to like Walmart or Superstore or other places and get this for less. But my Safeway is literally up the road. I can probably walk there, save myself gas money. And I don't like driving all over the city and shopping for things, especially in the winter. I'm pretty much a Costco girl and then pop into my local Safeway or Save On Foods. So $3.99 Canadian, I think that's about $2.95 US. Now this huge bag of shredded coconut is from Costco and it was, I think, $10.95 Canadian, which is about $8 and I don't know, 10 cents or something like that US. I can make a huge amount of coconut milk from this one bag. And the basic recipe is 2 cups of shredded coconut, unsweetened, to 4 cups of water. If you want to make half a batch, then obviously you would take 1 cup of shredded coconut to 2 cups of water. In this video, I'm going to make 2 different kinds. One of them will be just the basic coconut with the water version, and I use that version in recipes. such as panang chicken curry, which I will show you later on in the video. So stay tuned for that. I tend to make the version that I use in my curries and my stir fries a little bit thicker. So I will probably use 1 cup of shredded coconut to about 1.5 cups of water for that one. The second version is a little bit more zhuzhed up. It has a little bit of sweetness added to it through vanilla and through a Majdool date. And that one I like to use for beverages. I will put you guys on my overhead camera just so you see what I'm doing. You will need some kind of a blender. I just have a Magic Bullet blender and it does the trick with coconut milk. I think some people have Vitamixes and all kinds of, fancier blenders. I'm just using my Magic Bullet blender. You will also need a sieve, and also, if you can get one, a nut bag. Now this is just like an old produce bag that I had purchased to put produce when I went to the store. And it's very fine mesh and it works perfectly like a nut milk bag. You can buy nut milk bags on Amazon. I will try and remember to link something below. Or you can use cheesecloth, and that works really well also. You can also just use the sieve, but I think a little bit of the coconut pulp might come through. So if you like your coconut milk and your nut milk smooth, I would use a nut milk bag. All right, let's start off with some coconut milk, and I'm putting in 1 cup of shredded coconut, and this will be the sweeter version. 2 cups of hot water. Then I am going to add in half of a Majdool date and a little tiny bit of vanilla, maybe like half a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon. And I'm just going to blend this in my Magic Bullet. I'm going to blend it for 1 minute on high. Please be careful blending hot liquids. My liquid has cooled off a little bit, but it's still warm. I'm going to pour it through a nut milk bag. I'm not doing the sieve because I think I blended this very, very finely. So I think that going through the milk bag is going to work perfectly. Squeeze it really hard and get all the liquid out. I'm going to pour this into just a weck jar that I have on hand, and I usually store it in the fridge exactly like that with the lid on top. For my unsweetened recipe, it's the same process, and 1 cup of coconut, 2 cups of hot water. And if you notice how when you put it in the fridge it separates, just stir it up and you can go ahead and use it. Let's go to the oatmeal. I'm doing half a cup of oats. I am doing 1 cup of my sweet version of my coconut milk. A teeny tiny pinch of salt next. And it wouldn't be oatmeal if I didn't add some cinnamon to it before I actually cook the oatmeal. I cook the oatmeal for about 5 or 6 minutes at a low heat. So I'll get it to a boil and then turn the heat right down and cook it for about 5 or 6 minutes or so until it's creamy. To my oatmeal, I'm going to add toppings. The sweet yellow stuff that you see is honey yuzu. You can get it at Costco. I put my oatmeal in a bowl, and then I am going to add strawberry compote, which is just strawberries with a bit of sugar that were set at room temperature. A little bit of chopped banana to add some sweetness. Then I'm going to add the honey yuzu. You can use maple syrup, you can use regular honey, whatever you like. And of course some peanut butter. I don't think oatmeal is good without peanut butter. I'm going to sprinkle it with a little bit more cinnamon. And my oatmeal is ready to eat. All right, next I'm going to do chia seed pudding, and I'm using some vanilla, some maple syrup, and I'm using some white chia seeds. I just got these in a local store. You can get them on Amazon. I'm going to have 1.5 cups of the coconut milk and add 1/2 cup of the chia seed. Maybe just a tiny less than 1/2 cup. Next, I'm adding in 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. I'm going to stir that up so I don't get clumps. Tiny bit of vanilla, maybe like 1 teaspoon. I'll link recipes below. I'll let it set and I stir it up. Mine is a little thicker than I normally make it, but I'm adding in strawberry compote, which is just strawberries with sugar left at room temperature, and they're watery, so they will dilute that. So mine came out a little bit thicker than normal. I added to some jars because I'm going to eat it over a couple of days. I add my strawberry compote on top. You can do any kind of fruit, nuts, whatever you want. I'm going to sprinkle mine with a little bit of coconut, and again, you can do nuts, you can do hemp seed. The world is your oyster. Here we go. Nice little dessert. I'm going to put a lid on it and I will store that in the refrigerator. I don't usually store it for more than 3 days. Next, I'm going to do a very easy peasy latte using my coconut milk. I do my espresso in a mocha pot. I don't have like a fancy espresso machine. Just in my mocha pot on the stovetop. So my coffee is done. I just pour it into a glass or a cup. I don't have one of those fancy milk steamer machines. I just have this little handheld gizmo that I found in some thrift shop, and it seems to do an okay job. So I'm going to froth up my coconut milk. Again, I use the sweet version for that, but you can just use the regular one. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to pour it into my espresso. Try not to get it all over the counter. This glass is not the best. I'm going to put some of the foam on the very top. Amazingly, that coconut milk really froths up quite nicely. I will be sprinkling some vanilla sugar on top of that. I get mine from Amazon. You can make this by taking regular sugar with a vanilla bean and letting it sit, but I just don't bother. I just buy the bag from Amazon. And there we go. I have a great latte to sip on, and it's a lot cheaper than buying it. So I will be doing a prawn panang curry. I said chicken earlier, but prawns were on sale at Save on Foods and I had a craving, so I am doing a prawn curry. I'm adding in about 1.5 cups of peppers. I have red peppers, yellow peppers, whatever's in the fridge. I have like some of these little ones that I needed to use up, so it's all just chopped up in there. It doesn't have to be perfect. A whole bunch of spinach, like a good handful. About half of a small white onion, sliced up. 1 tablespoon of the panang curry paste. That's the paste that I use. I get it from Amazon. I'll talk about it later towards the end of the video. 1 clove of garlic, finely minced, and some prawn. These are pre-cooked. And here we have some peanut butter, some brown sugar, and later to that, I'm going to add some lime and tamari sauce. You will see me doing that at the end of finishing cooking the dish. All right, let's go through the process here. I'm just putting oil in a pan and I'm gonna heat up the pan fairly hot. So kind of a medium-high heat. I'm going to add the peppers. I'm going to add the onions. I'm going to add the garlic. Don't burn the garlic. I will stir it up as it's stir frying or sauteing in the pan. Then I'll add the panang curry paste and make sure that's stirred in really well. Really get it in there. Now I'll add the shrimp in, or prawn in my case. And really what I want is for the vegetables to soften just a little bit. I don't like mine completely soft. Add in 1 cup of the coconut milk. This is the regular coconut milk, not the sweet one. And now I'm going to stir a little paste together, my peanut butter, my sugar, my tamari sauce. The ingredients and amounts are below, and a squeeze of lime, about 2 teaspoons of lime. Stir it up really well till it's very smooth. You'll have to stir hard. Sorry about the lighting here. Once that's simmered, add it in. And now turn the heat off as soon as you add that in and stir it in well. The whole thing's going to thicken up. I've added in my spinach, which I forgot to show, and now it's plating. I have some rice, cilantro, lime. I will pour my curry on top of the rice. Garnish with the cilantro. You can garnish with whatever you want. And I add a bit of lime. I like to squeeze the lime on top when I eat it. plating, of course you need chopsticks. All right, so this is it, guys. Just some kind of final thoughts. I bought my Penang curry paste from Amazon. And the reason I did is because typically I can find this in Walmart, but I could not find it. I don't know what happened, if the entire city is out of it. So I had to order it on Amazon. I will put the links below. It's so much less expensive to buy it at Walmart, but I know that some of you, the only option might be to actually order on Amazon. It's the same with the vanilla sugar that I used in a latte. I just bought that from Amazon. I use it probably every week. I know I can make my own, but this is what I was talking about, to go out there and get the vanilla pod and then, you know, mix it with the sugar and then use it rarely. I'd rather just keep that one bag in my cupboard and I use it up, and, you know, life is simple. So there's a lot of new faces on this channel and I'm getting a lot of questions in the comments. It's getting hard to answer every single one individually. I'm thinking of doing a Q&A video, and so if you could leave your questions at the bottom of this video in the description, or sorry, in the comment section, I will gather those up and take some of the most commonly asked ones or some of the more interesting ones and do a Q&A video for you. I also want to thank people that have left me some advice regarding some technical things with my audio. I'm a big dummy and I didn't realize that sometimes I film my audio in mono, and that sounds fine if you're watching it on your screens through your iPad or iPhone microphone, but if you're listening on your headphones, it sounds terrible. Complete user error. Be patient with me. Literally, I have not filmed videos until I started filming them for this channel, and I'm just learning. I have figured out what I did wrong, and I will correct that from now on. And so thanks, guys, and I will see you next week.